Welcome. We are here at the Music Museum today to talk about songs for peace. And our special guest artist here is Joanie Calem, who has been singing since she was a young girl, writing since she was 18, and has written some of my favorite songs for children and for adults, and especially with the theme of peace and social justice. And when she finished writing a new song of hers called Gotta End This Thing, I just said we've got to talk to Joni about peace songs. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey Joni, in your lifetime, how many songs do you think you've written?
Oh, well, I have 9 CDs that I've put out, and I'm working on 4 more now. So
That's a lot of songs.
it's a lot of songs.
And also, you've just finished a book. Would you tell us a little bit about it?
I will. Oh,
Because I think teachers have been asking for resources that say you are welcome here to
yeah.
show that a classroom is about all of its participants, no matter their name or their skin color or the language they speak or their abilities, that everyone is welcome in a classroom because we're here to learn. So you'll find the links to that below, and I will put Joni's YouTube as well as where to find her CDs in the description. But I guess my big question too is I wanted to know when you're singing for kids, why do you think peace songs matter? You know, children see the news, they see all these things that would frighten every one of us, young and old. So so this is that the reason behind writing peace songs, or tell us a little more about your process.
Well, I remember being a kid during the Vietnam War, and my parents were active peace people. They would take us to peace rallies. And, as a kid, it was kind of like, oh, this is just what my family does. But then we also sang. And so we sang as a family, we sang all those songs that were on the radio in the 1960s, all those peace songs. And I think that is how I am who I am. And that, why is peace important to me? Because I think there was this seed planted as a child that there's another way. That, yes, what I'm seeing on the news is scary and awful, and it's showing, horrible things and angry people. And, you can see in people's faces the anger and the fear and the peace songs that my parents were singing, that my teachers were singing at school, that planted the seed of it doesn't have to be that way. And I feel like that is so important for kids to know that, yeah, maybe we have this anger and fear inside of us that makes us bully and tease and push away. But we also have other parts to ourselves. And that's what the songs can do.
Oh, that's wonderful. So when teachers have these resources, that's a way to kind of bring those ideas into the classroom.
Absolutely. And and there's always, like, my work is all about inclusion, and that to me is kind of the umbrella that includes peace within it. And um I am always sharing with teachers, uh, we can just follow what the kids do, or we can be that adult in the room. And so a kid may be having a conflict with another kid, and we're the ones that can bring, this could be different. We could do this differently. We can expand their imagination.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you have that experience in school? Because I had the opposite experience
Oh,
in
I
school.
had the opposite experience in
So
school.
that made me long for the type of music you create and I create so our kids can have that adult in the room, even if that adult is just a voice on a recording.
Right. Well, and not only did I have the same experience you had, I'm also the mother of, he's now an adult. He's a wonderful adult, but he has autism. And he was bullied and teased and manipulated. And I mean, just every possible negative experience. So, as a mother who was at that time already an educator and a songwriter, I was like, and, many of the teachers, when I would come in as the parent, many of the teachers would say to me, well, kids will be kids. And I'm like, yes. And we can offer them something else. And it doesn't have to be preachy. It doesn't have to be heavy handed. It's not like the adult in the room is going to come in angry, and no, no, we can come in and, okay, yeah, I know this is what you're feeling. Let's see what we can do so that everybody's going to feel okay here.
That's brilliant. So, would you say a lot of your songs are about social emotional learning?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't, if it is entitled that way.
Right. I mean, my songs about butterflies, they're also about social emotional learning. Like, yes. Yeah, because I look out my window here in front of me, and the trees, they're figuring it out. I mean, I know there's a little bit of aggression in the natural world too, but they're figuring it out. And there's all these other beautiful aspects of our world that we can sing about that are also very much about peace.
Oh, beautiful. So let's get to this great song called We Gotta End This Thing. And I would tend to say that one of the scariest things for any child is seeing images of the war in Gaza. And I know your background that you lived in Israel and you're a Jewish American woman. And so sometimes there's that idea that there's two sides and that everyone over there believes in war. And I think kids need to know that that people believe in peace, no matter what your religious identity or what if you wear a hijab, that peace is the overarching concern for most people. And the idea of we got to end this thing is just like you were talking in the classroom. Two kids are having a conflict. How wonderful if there were a giant adult in the room to come in and say, there's another way. We can do this. So tell us a little more about the background, and then I'm excited that you'll be here to sing the song for us.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. So, in addition to being a Jewish American woman, I'm also a Jewish Israeli woman. I lived in Israel from my teenage years. I got married there. My children were born there. We moved to the United States when I was almost 40. So, my adult life was started in Israel, and I worked as both a musician and I worked for a wonderful organization called Interns for Peace, Barama Salam, Nitzanei Shalom, which was a program that trained volunteers to be peace workers in community settings and to create projects where people could work together and build something together. So people would come into Palestinian villages and build playgrounds
Oh,
and build parks. And people would come into Jewish villages and clean up trash and, build playgrounds and build parks. So there was this, let's do this together. Let's beautify our environment together instead of um, so that was my work. Uh, the whole time that I lived in Israel. I was very much involved in anti-occupation work. Um, that, you know, people need to get along, and it's really hard to get along when there is an inequity in the power balance. Um, so when October 7th happened, this past year, and there was, this invasion of Hamas fighters into Israel. Um, as an Israeli, I was horrified. I spent a lot of time that day talking to family and friends and making sure everybody was okay. And of course, nobody was okay. Um, and you know, my first thought was, oh my God, how did this happen? My second thought was, oh no, they're going to flatten Gaza. Um, and so I didn't, I was singing peace songs that whole day. I had to actually lead music for one of my closest friends' daughters' bat mitzvah on the same day. And we added a bunch of peace songs that weren't on the program. And I feel like I walk this tightrope. I've been trying to explain to people my physical experience since that day is I feel like I'm walking on this narrow, narrow path on a mountain ridge. And the mountain goes down on either side of me. And if I look this way, I see and feel the pain and the trauma that my Israeli people feel. And if I look this way, I see the pain and the trauma that my Palestinian friends feel. And you can't discard either one. So that's where this song came from. And I wrote the first version on October 11th. And I kept on working it and working it and working it. So the chorus starts off in Hebrew. And it is the verse from Isaiah, which in English I think is turn swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks.
I can put that the quote below.
Exact, yeah.
Yes.
So the chorus starts with Hebrew, but it immediately translates into English. So shall I sing?
Absolutely. And is there a link people can get this on Spotify, or do you have a video where when people want to have this song, where are you going to send them?
So it's on my YouTube channel. It's on the adult YouTube channel.
I'll put the link so they can find it directly.
Right.
But are you going to do it out on Bandcamp or Spotify?
Oh yeah. I'm waiting on my engineer to finish the mastering. But yes, it will be on Bandcamp. It's coming out on my next album, which I'm hoping will be out before the election, because the album is full of songs for hope and healing. Because right now we're at the end of August, and in November, I know the half of the country is going to be happy and half of the country is going to be upset. So, and we need to come together.
And hopefully we will do that and find that other way.
Yeah.
I hope springs eternal.
Oh yeah. I mean, we
So,
have to. We just have to have hope.
mhm. Beautiful. Let's hear the song. Gotta End This Thing by Joanie Calem.
Lo yisa goy el goy cherev. Don't pick up that sword. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Let's stop preaching war. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Revenge just breeds hate, just breeds revenge. Being smart at war means being smart at peace. It's time to bring this to an end. Lo yisa goy el goy cherev. Don't pick up that sword. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Let's stop missiles streaking across the sky. Babies waking up, giggling with their moms. Doesn't look like a day to die. Lo yisagoy el goy cheref. Don't pick up that sword. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Let's stop preaching war. Turn swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks. Isaiah said this 3,000 years ago. Let people live freely, and lamb can cuddle a lion. Think of all the fear and pain we'd never know. Lo yisagoy el goy cheref. Don't pick up that sword. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Let's stop preaching war. Can we put down the hate? I know we think we can't. We're too busy choosing sides. Every religion claims the path of peace. So can we try a different tactic for a while? Lo yisagoy el goy cheref. Don't pick up that sword. Lo yilmadu od milchama. Let's stop preaching war. Let's stop teaching war. Let's stop making